In a world where people wash their hands and don't eat bats, one country will be the end of us all. This summer, from the producers of SARS and bird flu, get ready for the coronavirus pandemic. It's been 1.5 years since my last video on this channel. That video is almost at 1 million views, by the way, so thank you for that. Today, I want to talk about the coronavirus and how I may be infected, but more on my impending doom later in this episode. First, I want to discuss bat soup. How is this a thing, China? How is this a thing? I mean, you already didn't have a good reputation with the eating of the dogs. But now bats? Really? This is a public relations nightmare, China. This will seriously affect tourism. Now, it's one thing if this bat soup had little chunks of bat meat roasted to perfection in a bowl of noodles. But that's not what it is. It is literally an entire bat, intact, sitting in a bowl of broth. It's not so much bat soup as it is bat in a bowl. But I can see the hipsters getting behind this. I really can. They'll eat anything if it's Instagrammable. They'll convince themselves they like it, just because it's trendy. And if it ends up killing millions of hipsters, maybe bat soup wasn't such a bad thing after all. But it's not about bat soup, is it? It's not bat soup that caused the coronavirus. I mean, that's what they want you to believe. That's the official story coming out of China. And we all know how trustworthy they are. It's not about bats. It's not about bat soup. The coronavirus is a bioweapon. It is a bioweapon. It is a bioweapon created by the Chinese government to kill its own people. Does that sound crazy to you? Does it sound crazy that a government would try to kill off its own citizens? Well, it wouldn't be the first time that happens. Back in the 1980s, the CIA created the bioweapon known as AIDS to kill off all the gays. But the gays survived. In fact, they're thriving like never before. They are at their most popular right now. I mean, I can't watch a Netflix original without seeing a couple of butt buddies making out every couple minutes. Did you see the last season of The Walking Dead? Half the cast is gay. The other half are zombies. Now, you might be skeptical about this whole bioweapon theory. So let's read some facts, shall we? This virus came from Wuhan, which is conveniently the location of a high-security Chinese bioweapons lab. Last November, Chinese agents were arrested in Canada trying to smuggle vials of coronavirus taken from a Canadian biolaboratory. Japanese, Chinese, and East Asians are the most likely to become severely sick with the coronavirus, with a chance of more than 90% when exposed. Compare that to Europeans with a 50% chance and Africans with a 60% chance. Chinese men have a 64% higher chance of dying from coronavirus than their female counterparts, according to the largest study done on this outbreak. And finally, medical scientists from Nanjing Medical University and Shuzhou Hospital, led by Dr. Jinggang Wang, say that certain males affected by the coronavirus might likely become infertile, even if they recover from the infection. When have you heard of a flu doing that? So if you're Chinese, you have about double the chance of getting seriously ill when you're exposed compared to a white person. And if you're a Chinese man, you have a 64% higher chance of dying from it than if you're a Chinese woman. And if you're a Chinese man and you actually survived, you will likely become infertile. Now, why would they create a bioweapon that does all that? Why would they want to kill and or make infertile the male populace? Do you think the Communist Party of China is concerned that this overpopulation of males who have very little chance of finding a wife and having kids and being busy with a family will become potentially dangerous? Over 700 million Chinese men in China right now. There's got to be a big portion of them who are incels, frustrated incels, with too much time on their hands because they got no woman and they got no kids. And when you're frustrated and you got too much time on your hands and there's too many of you, oh well, we might just have a revolution on our hands. The Communist Party of China doesn't want that now, do they? They don't want to be overthrown. So how about we kill off some of these people? Or at least make them infertile so they can't create any more of themselves. But don't worry, people of China. Stay strong. Like the gays, you will survive. You will prevail. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. You will survive this. Well, I mean, half of you will die. Let's not kid ourselves. But still, that leaves a lot of people. Now let's discuss my possible coronavirus infection. I actually have 2 coronavirus stories. A few weeks ago, I was invited to somebody's house just down the hill from here. It was a very small gathering. And among the guests, there was a Chinese woman. About 3 weeks later, I heard that she is under quarantine in her own house for coronavirus. Now, that is not where I was exposed to coronavirus. Because when I asked for more information, it turns out she actually went back to China after that little get-together. And when she came back and landed in the airport, she was escorted back to her home and put under quarantine, apparently with cameras outside of her house to catch her should she try to leave, or so I was told. So that's my first coronavirus story. And now on to how I may currently be infected. There was a notification from the local health authority about a memorial service that was held a few days ago. And it turns out there was somebody there who has coronavirus confirmed. Now, I was not personally at this memorial. I was not there. But I have a friend whose mother was there. And he went to his mother's house for dinner after this memorial gathering. I have hung out with him twice since that. Now you might say, oh, big deal. Well, the plot thickens. He also hung out with 2 other people that were at that memorial meeting. And he told me he shook hands with these people, he hugged them, and even kissed them. I'm assuming on the cheek as a greeting. Now that's a whole lot of contact. And you got to think, at this memorial gathering, that infected person shook hands with one person who then shook hands with another person. And if you know how germs travel, oh, everybody in that building might be exposed. And so might I. It has been 3 days since I hung out with my friend who may have coronavirus. So I am on day 3 of a self-imposed quarantine. I will quarantine myself for 14 total days. By my calculations, within 48 hours, I will run out of eggs. But I have a large box of Halloween chocolates that I bought the day after Halloween. That's the time to buy Halloween candy. Not before Halloween, not leading up to Halloween, not on Halloween, the day after. That's when the sales begin. It's funny how the exact same thing becomes worth less at a later date. It's just like at the dollar store. There'll be a loaf of bread, sprouted, organic loaf of bread that once cost $5 at the grocery store. But when it's reached its expiry date, they dump it off at the dollar store and you buy it for $1.25 because it's close to expiring. But that's life, isn't it? The closer you are to expiration, the less you are worth to our society. A 92-year-old man in an old folks' home has less value than a 20-year-old girl who's a stripper. That's just a sad reality. The closer we are to expiration, the less value we have. So, my friends, I may currently be close to my expiration date. You will see this video on day 7 of my quarantine. It will take me 4 days to edit this and upload it because I don't want to overexert myself when my body is possibly fighting a pandemic inside itself. That's why I'm wearing a snowsuit, to keep myself warm. I'm trying not to move very much to conserve energy for my immune system. So I will schedule this video for 4 days from now. It is possible that when it's released by the YouTube robots, I will already be dead. And if that is the case, and I have no future updates, no future videos for you, I want you to know that I love you guys. I've gotten many comments over the last few months that I haven't uploaded that have meant a lot to me. Some of you have really warmed my heart with your comments. Some of you have said how much my videos meant to you, and I want you to know that you guys mean just as much to me. I will never forget that period of my life that we shared together. So I love you guys. And thank you for watching.